Wave 2 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC has officially been announced, and it is coming in less than a week. And of course, seeing new tracks such as Sky High Sunday got me thinking about the options of what we could get for new tracks as well if they did at least a couple more before coming to tour as well. And I started thinking, and I was like, yeah, a lot of these are probably going to be all original tracks and probably not really based off of anything in Mario's past. But what if they did? What if they did give us a cup or even a wave entirely of tracks based on past games? Well, today I got tracks based on Mario 3D World. Now, it's kind of fitting since there is a whole stage, Mount Mustache, which is pretty much a Mario Kart track. What if we took some of these stages and turned them into Mario Kart tracks, gave them some boost pads, some ramps, and just threw some cars on it? How would it look? How will it play out? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're super excited to see the Mario 3D World wave that I created for you guys today, make sure you leave a like if you really enjoyed this video and subscribe to see more things like this from Mario Kart and Nintendo in general. Now, let's get on to our brand new Mario 3D World themed wave. First, starting off with our first cup being the Sprixie Cup. Of course, we have to start off with no other but Super Bell Hill, one of the very first stages within this game, and it's going to be based on lots of these stages like the rolling plains that are just kind of grassy areas where you pretty much start the game. It's a great way to start this cup, and basically there will be rolling hills going in different directions, kind of like the gears on Tick-Tock Clock, where you have to pick the fastest path, not the one kind of rotating towards you. Also, I guess kind of like the escalators in Coconut Mall. You can also have the option to take a high road all the way to the top of the mountain and all the way to the goal, or you can take a low road that runs underground. But if you take the low road, it could technically be a little bit faster, but there's lots of risk involved as well, as there's lots of different types of spinning hills and even skip squeaks that run and jump that could definitely slow you down. Next up, we have Scramble Circus. This just has to be a track in the game because it's just so beautiful. You'll be going in and out of circus tents, just having yourself a grand old time at the circus. But there'll be elements of the stage that actually translate to the track as well. For instance, there will be secret paths eventually opening up if all the panels are ran over, similar to Hyrule Castles with the crystals that you have to activate in order to hit the ramp into the Master Sword shortcut. There will be a little castle section as well, kind of like the tricky trapeze theater level, and there's going to be lots of going in and out of tents and jumping off of ramps like trapezes, and of course, maybe even throw in the little circus train like that stage where you had to like kind of go through the train or maybe over the train. That would be really cool. Shadow Play Alley will be more of a casual stage, not that long and just pretty quick, but the only thing that really makes this kind of unique is just the way that it looks. You start the track outside, similar to Super Bell Hill, and everyone goes into a giant clear pipe, kind of like Piranha Plant Slide where you go underground, but this time instead of just water everywhere, it's more of just the underground section, and everybody every now and then will turn into silhouettes, being all blacked out, making it kind of hard to see specific players and spots, and yeah, it can kind of be a little funky with your eyes. At the end is a giant cutout Bowser that will have a hole in 3 different spots, meaning that you'll have to take one of the 3 different ramps to blast through the correct hole and make your way back around for lap 2. And the final track for the first cup is Snowball Park. This course will have you racing up deep snow mountains and across frozen ponds, dodging shoe Goombas that are racing as well, and of course across narrow snow ravines where maybe there's multiple of them, so you could pick different ones than your opponents, and you have to dodge snow pokies as well. There can even be sections that have typhoons that could either push you forward faster or maybe push back at you, making you go slower, or maybe even pushing from the left to the right, pushing you off the track, or at least bumping you over and kind of moving your positioning. I personally think this stage could be one of the coolest because you're already kind of racing Goomba boots within the game itself, so translating this into a Mario Kart track really shouldn't be that crazy, and I think it makes a lot of sense having typhoons blow you around and also could help you, and you know, it's one of those risk versus reward situations, would be really fun to play with friends. And that will be Cup 1 of our wave of Mario 3D World tracks. If you liked this so far, stop what you're doing, leave a like, and subscribe to stay up to date on even more tracks like this that I make as we move on to Cup 2. Starting the Plessie Cup for the first track, we have Beat Block Skyway. This track has tons of multiple different lanes and paths, and if you listen to the music and pay attention to the changing blocks, you should be able to pick the optimal path, and also you just have to be careful in general because some blocks will cause you to fall off the stage and get respawned. So definitely listen to the music and pay attention to the blinking lights because sometimes even shortcuts will pop up for a short amount of time and you might be in a position to take it if you are paying attention and you're on beat enough. enough. So this kind of has a cool little gimmick to where you have to pay very close attention to not only the enemies and the other racers, but also the fact of the stage actually shifting and changing as it goes on. And by lap 3, it's going to be going a lot faster, which is a definitely cool shakeup. Next up, we have Sprawling Savannah, another one where I have a super creative idea, or one that's a completely terrible idea. I don't know how it would translate actually in the game. On paper, it sounds good though. This track will be unique because it starts off normal as you zigzag your way all the way up a giant mountain, and once at the top, everyone shoots out of a cannon all the way to a giant savanna area. It will be one of the most open areas in the entire game and giving tons of freedom. Kind of like Yoshi's Valley with multiple different tracks, but this time, everything is wide open. All the racers can pretty much race anywhere. You will have to find your personal path at your own freedom. Some areas have tons of boost pads. Some areas are full of ramps where you can glide most of the time. There might even be some areas that can take you under the ground for a short amount of time with some ant troopers along the way, and just different things like that, which will make each path very unique. Wherever you want to go in the savannah, you can. You just have to progress forward until you get to the end of the savannah, which will loop you back around for lap 2. Now, this can just be a complete chaotic area. You can go to a path with just tons of items and just collect as many items and chuck them out as you wish, or you can find the optimal fast path. This kind of reminds me of something like Excite Bike, where most of the track is just driving straight and just jumping off of very obvious ramps, but most of it comes down to how the player plays it with their items and the different things that they get. This could be a really cool, unique idea. Hands-on Hall will be one giant lap with 3 checkpoints. The first section will have you making your way through hallways with sliding doors. You have to watch the doors closely, and as they start to shake, that means they're about to slide over to the left side or to the right side, meaning that you have to make sure you hit the right path or you'll have a major slowdown and everybody else will start to pass. But you'll also have throwing baseballs at you from left and right, and it'll bump your cart and kind of knock you over and just push you a little bit. But then you'll move on to checkpoint 2, which leads you outside onto the roofing of the building. You will have to watch out for thwomps as you make your way to the top of the roofing and back inside once again. And when you're back inside, that will be checkpoint number 3, the final stretch. You'll go through the last final hallways, dodging incoming spike logs from none other than spikes themselves, and then eventually making your way, shooting through the top of the roof all the way to the very end where the goal is. You'll fly your way all the way there at the top of the building. And finally, the last track that I have for you guys today is Great Bowser Tower. This will be a checkpoint stage as well, and will kind of be stylized like Neo Bowser City. You will start off ramping across the rooftops and flying by Ferris wheels and making sure to dodge all the fireballs falling from the sky like Grumble volcanoes. Checkpoint 2 will have a long flight to the tower, then proceed to scale it by driving up the side with your zero gravity wheels, dodging fireballs falling straight down. And then checkpoint 3 will push you off and have you kind of circling the building on scaffolding, making your way all the way to the top, just like in the game. Now, they'll probably just have basic enemies like piranha plants and Goombas and Koopa Troopas trying to hit you along the way, but it'd be really cool to have giant cherry-copied Meowsers swiping away at you, making you have to go, away from them when they pop out of the tower. That would be pretty neat. Or at least make robot versions of Meowser along the way, which would be pretty cool as well. And then finally, you get to fly all the way up to the top of the tower where the goal is, and maybe even as you're flying, you're able to hit the POW block at the top as a nice little Easter egg. Maybe it doesn't do really anything at all, but just shoot off fireworks and stuff. But maybe, I don't know how many times you hit it in the game, like 4 or 5, so maybe when the 5th person hits it, it kind of explodes and shoots the fireworks or something. That would be really cool, and you get to sit and watch once you finish. That would be so much fun. Here is your Mario 3D World Wave. This was actually a lot of fun to make, and guys, if you want to see even more tracks from Mario 3D World or from another Mario game, let me know some of your ideas down below, and maybe it'll generate another video like this. But of course, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to show me how much you guys really enjoy this video. It helps a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.